Hello, welcome to episode 92 of Anime Territory. I'm your host this week, Johnny Ruval. With me, as always, is my co-host, Benjamin, and Sean Gunn as Weasel Shabbing.
Okay, that has nothing to do with this.
I was just gonna, look up what Sean Gunn's character name was in Suicide Squad 2021, and when I realized it was just Weasel, I thought, I better just do, Sean Gunn as Weasel.
Okay.
And what are you talking about? It has everything to do with it. It's Suicide Squad. They're all the same. It's all the same.
Okay.
That's not true. Some of them are
bad.
bad. Yeah.
Is this one? We'll talk about it.
So this time we're talking about Suicide Squad Isekai, or sometimes called Isekai Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's they made an anime with the
Suicide Squad.
Warner Brothers. They made an anime.
Mm-hmm.
They're anime boys now.
Mm-hmm.
The Anime Brothers.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I was going with that. I was trying to think, should change it to Anime Brothers, but I don't think that works.
Change what to Anime Brothers?
Warner Brothers.
Oh. No.
Warner Anime Brothers? WAB?
No.
Isn't that what that song's about? WAB? Warner Anime Brothers?
No. That's not even the song title.
I know. We've talked about this show already on our, preview of some... It would have been summer anime, I guess?
Yep.
Because we haven't done a fall one yet.
Correct.
It hasn't really started the fall season yet.
Correct. Episode 88 was summer.
Yeah. So, we have our initial thoughts there. I'm not going to sum them up because I don't remember what my initial thoughts were on this show. I think my initial thoughts were that I liked it and it was fine,
mm-hmm.
and that I didn't like their portrayal of Joker just because I don't like them, making him a sympathetic character, almost.
I don't know. Were they making him sympathetic?
I feel like anytime... They're definitely making Harley a sympathetic character. We were supposed to like Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
And normally I only like Harley Quinn when she has, detached herself from the Joker. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I don't like that they're like, oh, well, hey, you like Harley Quinn and she likes the Joker, so you must not be that bad of a guy. And then I feel like that's how it was when we first started watching the show. We'll talk about later in where maybe this show goes in future seasons. But I know I didn't like that. I know I did like his car that he drives by playing the piano, and you did not like that.
I hate that thing.
I think it's funny. I think that's the kind of shit that would show up in Batman the Animated Series. Yes, Joker's car. He drives with a piano. Or some shit that would happen in, the 60s Batman show with Adam West.
No, I just think it's stupid. It's how does he steer?
By playing the right chord.
Makes no sense.
I just don't think you understand how good stupid can be.
Okay.
It is stupid. I'm not debating that. Just saying sometimes stupid is good.
Okay.
Do you remember any of our other thoughts from the first time we talked about this?
No, I think it was just mainly that this is fine.
Mm-hmm. We really should have done this episode a while ago. We just never watched the final episode until today.
Yeah.
It's it had been over for months. Mm-hmm. We were caught up.
It's been a month since it ended.
A month. Sorry, yeah. I didn't mean to say months. Weeks is I think what I meant to say. But,
okay.
So we're a little bit foggy on the details here. But we can still talk about it for, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We're already at 4.
Mm-hmm. So, first impressions? Or I guess final impressions?
Yeah. Well, this would be, spoiler-free impressions.
Okay.
I liked it. I think I'd give it a 7 out of 10. In fact, that is what I gave it. But that's because I can't give points on my anime list, so I might give it a 6.75.
Okay. I'm a lot lower on this show than you.
You are?
Yeah.
What did you give this?
I'd give it a 5, maybe a 6.
Okay.
It just didn't do anything for me.
I gave it so high because there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I get
it.
That.
It doesn't really grab me of man, I need to know what happens next, because obviously we went a month without watching the last episode.
Yeah.
But I think the action was well done. I think the story was serviceable, if not like particularly engaging.
That's just my main issue with it. Is I'm not a fan of isekais, so like it just. Well, I generally don't have an interest. I just don't think it did anything to like make me excited. I'm like, oh, okay, they're just fighting magical people.
Yeah,
I'm not using magical powers.
I would say that this is not structured like a normal isekai would be. Mm-hmm. Normal isekai is normally the protagonist starts with some skill that then they can then manipulate to, be overpowered or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or they're just overpowered to begin with, or they're steadily growing in power. But like one of my favorite isekais, sorry, I was like thinking, well, maybe I should talk about this one. No, let's continue with that. I like that time I got reincarnated as a slime, because it's just like, hey, this is this guy's power, and hey, look, isn't this useful? And he can just steadily build a civilization, and then he has, as his civilization grows, he has to deal with, okay, well, we're not just a tribe of goblins in the woods anymore. We are, a town. Oh, now we're a nation, and now, other people are focusing their interest on us, so then we have to come up with solutions. And that's sort of the appeal of a lot of isekais, is that, hey, how are they going to handle this situation? They're already overpowered to begin with, for the most part. So it's like, what kind of, interesting twist on their weird ability are they going to use to progress forward? Okay. So like, this guy's a slime. He can eat stuff, and he's in a cave where a dragon's been imprisoned for thousands of years or whatever. And because of the dragon's presence, there's a bunch of this like magical herb growing around and magical like ore, just because that's what happens to rocks whenever it's around the presence of a dragon for thousands of years, and the weeds around that. So it's like, oh yeah, and he can just like eat that shit because he can eat anything. Because he's a slime, and oh hey, he can like use that magical herb to make a perfect healing potion. Like they're like oh yeah, we have like 80% healing potions. It doesn't do shit if you're 20% within death. Mm-hmm. But this one is a 100%. So like, so long as you have an inch of life left, you can heal. So like, okay, well that's an interesting. Like he can process it because it's, his stomach or whatever is the ultimate. Processing machine. Okay. He can craft magical weapons or whatever because he's got all that magical ore that he's built up.
Or what?
And then he can, everything that he eats, he can absorb their skills. So like, oh, he ate these little weird monsters, and now he's got a weird, like, he can combine their powers in an interesting way that then allows him. Like, that's sort of part of the appeal. There's none of that in Suicide Squad Isekai. Okay. There's a little bit of like, hey, Clayface has magical powers that are slightly different than his normal powers, and that he can control like all ground.
Yeah, and Harley has a more powerful bat.
Well, I think it's more just that she has like super strength.
Yeah, her strength might have increased. Yeah,
or like she has a magical ability where whatever weapon she's using is increased strength or whatever, because she uses a big frying pan at some point. I think I saw when she like pistol whipped somebody in the last episode, like that had some like enhanced strength to it. But mainly we see it with her bat signature there. So like we get a little bit of that, but it's not like, oh hey, let's explore these powers and figure this stuff out. So we don't have that.
I think that's one of my main things about this show is I feel like there should have been more magic.
Yes, very much so.
The problem is you got 4 people who don't really have magical powers, and they just don't get any.
Rick Flag,
Peacemaker, Deadshot, and I counted Harley. But we just kind of talked.
Yeah, well, she barely uses it too, and it's like she kind of sort of already has like, yeah, she can hit people with a bat and knock them out. Like she sort of has that in her skill set anyway. But this time it's officially magic or whatever. Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, we just kind of give Peacemaker and Deadshot the same stuff to do. And,
they have bullets.
And Rick Flag is the moral compass.
Yeah. I guess you could frame it as it's them trying to or them having to figure out how to beat all these magical creatures with just guns.
Yeah, and they don't really have that except for maybe the dragon fight a little bit.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, that's the main thing I think that it's missing.
Yeah. Some of my other things you can do with Isekai. So you have the one where they got a strange ability and then they can use that to slowly become overpowered or whatever. You also have stuff like Konosuba where it's just basically played for laughs. Yeah. Like, like, hey, he has knowledge of our world, but whatever. Like, it's just, or you have something like, another favorite would be ReZero, where the main character is not overpowered. He just has an ability where when he dies, he goes back in time a little bit and then has to move forward. And what are the repercussions to that? We'll see. It's still sort of like, I think there's something that's bad about this still. And he also feels the pain of death every time he dies. It's not like okay, now you go back. It's just like, oh yeah, I died.
Is that show officially done, or they?
I would say it's not officially done. It's been a while since there's been a season.
Well, one came out just a year or two ago, didn't it?
Maybe? I don't actually remember when the last season of that was. But I'm fairly sure that the story is not done. Now, whether or not they make more.
Okay.
But it's like, okay, he's going to use that. That's sort of also the overpowered ability. Mm-hmm. But it's not like he can actually overpower anybody. He just has to, like, think through, like, okay, well, it wasn't that. I got to try something else this time.
He's got a Groundhog Day it.
Yeah. And sometimes he tries to use it to his advantage of like, oh, I need to undo this thing that just happened, so I guess I'll die. And that's the other thing, he can't tell anybody about the power either. Otherwise he feels tremendous pain. But he's like, I guess I'll die to try to undo this thing that happened, or thank God I died so we can go back and this bad thing that just happened, and that's when he hits like a new checkpoint where it's like, oh, nope. You're not going all the way back now. This thing is permanently done. There's no fixing it. So like, oh shit, that person's just lost their memories. Mm-hmm. There's no going back. There's no fix for that apparently. Okay. So it's there are hooks and there are tropes and there are bad isekais out there. Like the skeleton warrior one was whatever, where he's a skeleton in a big suit of armor.
Oh, okay.
I had to clarify in the big suit of armor because there's also Overlord, which is skeleton guy one. That one I'm not going to comment on. I don't actually remember if it's good or bad or if I would feel the same way about it as when I watched it.
Coworker at work
liked Overlord.
Likes Overlord. He likes isekais.
Yeah, there's a type. There's a type that likes isekais. And that type is friend of the show, Brock Brumlevy. But yeah, this one didn't really feel like that. It just felt like, okay, we've got some magic knights, and I don't know. It was also only like 10 episodes, and I feel like a lot of the runtime goes to like the action, which I think is just a staple of, like comic book cartoon adaptations there, and trying to appeal to that crowd.
I was fine with the action. The action's good.
Yeah, the action was good. I'm not saying it just means that, okay, if we've got a 12-minute action scene, then we don't have as much room for
there's only
plot
so
development.
Much plot you got if you're focusing on the action.
Yeah. But I think it's worth a watch. I'm interested to see more.
I will say I'm glad they did this. I like the idea of them trying something like this.
Well, and I like superhero cartoons, so...
See, I do really watch superhero cartoons.
So it's like, okay, if they're gonna make... I like anime, I like superhero cartoons, maybe they'll make, some sort of cool...
Like Batman anime or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say Batman, and I'm like, I don't think I want that.
They'd mess it up somehow.
Yeah, and it's like, and they sort of are like before Suicide Squad Isekai. They're like My Adventures with Superman season 1. I would say had like some anime feel to it, but is majorly a superhero show, whereas this one is majorly a anime with some superhero show aspects, or you know, it's kind of you gotta find the right blend, and I don't think they've quite done that. But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. Maybe we can get some like weird stuff that
Swamp Thing.
I'd be interested in a Swamp Thing anime. I think around like the 2010s, early there, they might have had some like Marvel animes. Like I feel like there's an Iron Man one. There were some cartoons and or anime. I don't know if it was like anime style but made in America, but there were like cartoons for Marvel stuff that I don't think anybody really paid much attention to.
Okay.
So I was trying to think like what would be an interesting Marvel one. I'm like, oh, they've made like Iron Man stuff, and I think it was mainly still for kids is the thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it would be like, okay, I know I'm the almost 30 guy who's like, I want adult superhero shows. Give me adult superhero shows. I need them, or I'll die.
What about just like, I guess I never really watched. I was thinking Nightwing, but it might just be like a Batman Beyond, where it's just kind of like a high school anime.
Okay, all right, go on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like a regular high school anime, but it's like Nightwing or something in high school.
I mean,
I don't know how old Nightwing usually is in the comics and stuff. I think he's usually a little older, but in that vein. Maybe he's in college or something.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So if we're going Batman the Animated Series, he's at the beginning of that show, he's in college and he's still Robin.
Okay.
And then like third season of that show, there's an indeterminate time skip forward, and we've got Tim Drake as Robin, and we have Dick Grayson as Nightwing.
Yeah. Or like a Batgirl. She's struggling with high school life while also being Batgirl.
Oh, okay, all right.
You know what I mean? Something like that.
Can we get some rom-com in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down. Let's write a script. Let's figure out how to write a script, and let's write the Batgirl anime script.
Batgirl anime, got it. I'm gonna write that down.
You're actually all right. You're writing it down on a sticky note, not even in your podcast notebook.
Batgirl the anime series.
Let's try to come up with some premises of this. We gotta have. Do we have a harem? Is it a harem?
No.
Just a single guy? We have Dick Grayson as a love interest? Okay.
I would say something like that.
Because, like, if we didn't focus on Batgirl, like, Dick Grayson has had a couple of different love interests. Mm-hmm. The two main ones being Batgirl and Starfire.
Okay.
So if we shifted away from Batgirl, you know, and made it a Dick Grayson one.
I'd almost say Teen Titans, but they kind of already did that with the original series.
Starfire, I was also thinking, I mean, like, this almost feels like Young Justice to a bit. But we need to make it anime-wise. Oh, Young Justice is good.
Okay.
But, like, they start and they're, like, high schoolers, and there's some high school drama and relationships and stuff. And they, like, age, and then they bring in younger heroes, but the main, like, cast of season 1 is still there, but as, you know, older heroes. Again, we go from Robin to Nightwing at some point. Man, now I want a Wally West Kid Flash show.
There you go.
Because he was my favorite character.
But yeah, there's something like that.
Yeah. I was going to say, let's brainstorm some ideas. And I was about to do a sitcom premise instead of an anime premise. I'm like, 2 dates to the prom. And I'm like, no, that's sitcom. That's not anime.
That's not anime. Anime would be a culture festival.
Would Starfire be a tsundere? Because she's got some anger issues.
I guess. I don't know.
And then there's a big will they, won't they of... I guess she's heavier on the dere side than the Soon side, but she does have some anger issues there.
I don't think she would, like, be mean, though.
She wouldn't say baka.
Yeah.
But she could, if we write it.
It's your script.
Well, we gotta have a beach episode. King Shark can show up.
Okay.
And I guess Aquaman, whatever.
Sure, Aqualad if you want to keep it.
Yeah, but which Aqualad?
I don't know.
Both of them?
Sure.
They're lifeguards at the beach?
Sure. Write it down.
I'm not writing any of this down. We're recording it. We can go back and look at it some other time. And we're not going to do that, but we could.
We could.
Alright, Suicide Squad Isekai. General rough premise of the show.
We start with Harley Quinn. She's hanging around with Joker.
You're going too slow.
Okay, go ahead.
You start with Harley Quinn and Joker hanging around.
Okay.
No, I wanted to take control because I know exactly what I want to say here.
Go for it.
Harley gets captured by Katana. We don't know what happens to Joker. He escapes.
Yep.
She's in prison. She gets recruited. All of a sudden, she wakes up and she's in a helicopter in a fantasy world or whatever. You're in a Suicide Squad. There's time bombs in your neck. You know the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, basic Suicide Squad.
This time there's a time limit on it instead of we just control it.
Yeah. 72 hours. 3 days.
Go secure relations. Make a foothold in this world so we can use it for resources. They help out a country and still get arrested for helping them out.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, we're going to die. Please, it will work for you. Just let us go. And they're like, okay, we'll hold Rick Flag here. You guys go capture this fortress and we'll think about it. They capture the fortress, but they also destroy the fortress.
Yes.
So nah, fuck you guys.
You killed our fortress.
Yeah. They make another plea. They get back. They reset their bombs. But they just can't ever get right by this kingdom. Mm-hmm. They help them out, and then the queen is just like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that's because the queen is not the queen. She was replaced.
Well, yeah, you kind of skipped some things.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Queen's not the queen. She's been the undead queen this whole time, using the queen, so she's been deliberately fucking them over. They've also been fighting this whole time against a previous Suicide Squad that does not have a time limit on their bombs, and so long as they're not near the portal, they can't activate the explosion on them. So they're just running wild. Mm-hmm. Supposedly Katana is one of them. Mm-hmm. We have, on our good guys Suicide Squad, we've got Harley Quinn, Clayface, Deadshot, Peacemaker, King Shark, and Sword of Rick Flag. He wasn't with them when they began, but
they met up with him.
Yeah, they met up with him. On the bad guy team, we've got Ratcatcher, The Thinker, Enchantress, Killer Croc, and then Katana. Mm-hmm. On the Kingdom side, we've got the Queen, Aldora, who's actually Undead Queen in disguise. We've got our main character we interact with, Cecil, who's like a holy knight that is like, the Queen's really treating you unfairly, and he's got to fight his loyalties and doing what's right.
Yeah, he follows the princess, not the queen, basically.
Yeah. And then there's Fionn, who's the queen, and the princess. She looks a lot like Harley Quinn.
Yes.
I thought they were going to do she is the Harley Quinn of this world sort of thing. Turns out that she's just every blonde white girl from Halloween 2006 and wants to dress up. Sorry, 2016, not 2006. Yeah. Damn it. I messed up my joke. I wrote it down.
I got it. I understood it.
She just wants to idolize Harley Quinn and dress up as her. Mm-hmm. Eventually she realizes that it's not her mom, it's the queen, it's the undead queen, so she betrays them. And then they have a big fight. Turns out Enchantress, his real body, was being held prisoner, so they rescue that. Katana helps them rescue that. They just like straight up kill Ratcatcher and the Thinker. Eventually, they have like showdowns with them.
Yes,
but Enchantress and Katana sort of have a redemption. They help them out at the end. Also, Killer Croc is there, and he's teamed up with a sea monster, and he's really just there to fight King Shark.
Yeah, they had to give King Shark something to do.
Yeah, they're like, we'll put him in the water with Killer Croc. So Killer Croc, eventually, it's Peacemaker and King Shark versus Killer Croc and the sea monster. Mm-hmm. Peacemaker takes the sea monster captive by putting his hand in his gills. Mm-hmm. And Killer Croc's like, well, fuck it, I can't, like, I'm just going to continue fighting. I don't have time for weaklings, which the sea monster hears, and they're like, all right. Sea monster betrays Killer Croc.
Eats his head off.
Yep. And they have the final fight. Cecil gives them their magical armor. They each take a piece of it, and they get to have a magical girl transformation.
Yeah, that's what I wanted the whole time.
Yeah. If they had that at the beginning,
I'd be in. This would be a 10 out of 10.
Well, be 10 out of 10. It'd be a stronger 7, I think.
It'd be at least a 6.
If I gotta have that sequence where we saw Peacemaker's ass every 2 episodes, I'd be down.
We needed more Peacemaker ass.
Yeah. When they gave it to Deadshot first, I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then I'm like, oh, they got other armor pieces. They can give it to everybody. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. I like the last episode.
Yeah.
Except for the end.
Basically, post-credit scene. I mean, there was a credit scene because they didn't have like the actual credit song go, but there was a credit scene of them getting honored by the kingdom. And we should mention Harley Quinn gets a dragon egg imprinted on her. Dragon thinks it's her mother.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Dragon named Arthur.
Yeah, and he grows up big quick.
He got big.
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure I go through all my notes here, which I did, which most of my notes were Sean Gunna's Weasel character names, and turns out she's every blonde white girl in Halloween 2006.
You messed up your joke again.
I did it again! Whatever. Surely some girls were dressing up as Harley Quinn in 2006.
Sure.
Justice League, the animated series, wasn't off the air for too long at that point. It might have even still been on the air. And then, Harley Quinn has a few good episodes in there. Mm-hmm. People are still talking about Batman the Animated Series. It could happen.
Sure,
it wouldn't be every girl. It would just be the nerds. But
it'd probably be the old suit too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Most certainly the old suit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe. Were there like some Harley and Poison Ivy comics that were going? That might have been around the time when they started.
I feel like that was a little later than 2006.
Yeah, well, I just meant in the comics. Like when we're thinking public lexicon, we're thinking okay, the Harley Quinn TV show is when it really gets brought into the light because it's a TV show. Mm-hmm. But there's definitely some like Harley Quinn is an anti-hero, separate from Joker stuff that's starting to happen around that time.
I don't read comics. I think that was they did that Poison Ivy Harley thing pretty close to when that show actually came out. So I think that Harley Quinn Poison Ivy relationship is fairly new.
Well, so here's a counterpoint to you. In Batman the Animated Series, like season 3, they are good friends.
Okay.
There's like an episode where they go like shopping together and like possibly
they own a farm.
Poison Ivy might use her spores to like brainwash Bruce Wayne to be their like wallet while shopping or something.
Okay.
So like that has existed since the 90s.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think. It might have been more like 2013, 2014. Because I feel like I was in the comic shop that was near our college. and seeing like Harley Quinn issues there.
Mm-hmm.
But I follow comics a little bit better than you, but not much better than you.
Yeah, I don't. All of my like comic knowledge would be just from hearsay from other things I've listened to.
Yeah, or like, okay, let's go down a Wikipedia deep dive here. So suffice to say, Harley Quinn was detaching herself from the Joker sooner than you would think. Okay. And some of that might have been more like she was detached from the Joker because she was attached to the Suicide Squad stuff. But she didn't really get like a big costume redesign until 2016.
Oh.
You know, that's when we kind of get the current era of Harley Quinn.
Gotcha. Anyways.
I mean...
we just didn't give up the big twist at the end.
Oh, yes. That's the only thing I haven't said. Okay. The very last scene, they're like, oh yeah, we saw... Rick Flag is talking to Amanda Waller. And it's like, oh yeah, I saw Katana. And it's like, well, that's weird. Because then we see Amanda Waller with Katana next to her. And it's like, well, it's probably that guy. And then it turns out that the magic swords or whatever that Katana had in this world, or maybe some other magic power. It was the Joker who has some magic power to disguise himself as various people. He is the enemy emperor nation there, and he was working alongside the Undead Queen.
Yes.
The Undead Queen even said, like, you emperor, you betrayed me. So, like, we knew that they were basically just stoking the flames of war between the two nations was the idea there. So that seems to set up for maybe like a, you know, Harley getting away from Joker in a future season sort of thing, which I would appreciate that. Because of what I said earlier.
Yes.
Because they don't condone abusive relationships. Trying to think what else I would want to say about that twist. Oh, I did want to say I thought the twist was going to be that Waller was actually stoking both sides.
Yeah. That would make more sense.
To like destabilize the region so that they can take over.
Because that's a very Waller thing to do.
Yes. I don't trust Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
As you shouldn't. Not unless you're talking to her in that one episode of Justice League that is actually an episode of Batman Beyond.
Even then.
Well, at that point, she's like really old, and she's like, yeah, I fucked up a lot of stuff. Also, you're a clone of Batman. And that was my idea.
Was he a clone, or did she just like sneak some...
I think she might have taken his DNA. She didn't have any of his semen. Because she's like...
She like put his DNA into like his dad or something, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Terry's dad, to where there was some Bruce in him.
Yes.
He got that Bruce in him?
He got that Bruce in him. He got that bat in him.
I watched that episode because you were watching it.
Yeah. It serves as like an epilogue to the series.
Gotcha.
Which is why or it serves as an epilogue to the Bruce Timm animated universe there. Yeah. The DCAU.
Yeah.
Because there's also a DC movie animated universe. But I don't know what they
I never know what's all... I don't know if any of those are connected technically or not.
They are. My brother was trying to tell me about it once.
Because there's like 100 of them. And it's just like...
There's a lot of them that are connected.
Okay.
And it they sort of you start with this one and then it's got continuity with these other ones here. So...
but also...
And it might be a little looser continuity.
Okay.
To serve the movie there, but... And there's a few movies, too, that are part of the Bruce Timm universe. Like, there was a...
Mask of the Phantasm isn't it?
Yeah, Mask of the Phantasm is. Because that's, canonical to Batman the Animated Series. There was one that released, in 2016 to 2018, that they team up with Harley Quinn, and I think Swamp Thing might be involved, or maybe Poison Ivy's involved. But that one's kind of controversial because at one point Harley Quinn and Nightwing sleep together.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So that one exists. Which it's just like you had in the beginning of Batman the Animated Series, Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon together as a couple, and like you fucked it up, Bruce Timm, by having Batman and Batgirl alluded to as a couple, if not outright confirmed. That was Batwoman movie is where they confirmed that. So that's another like animated movie that's in that universe.
I don't think ever do. There's a Batwoman movie.
Yeah, it's like Mystery of the Batwoman or something. It's actually like 3 people that have taken up the mantle to try to like get revenge on somebody. And they're like, "Is it you, Batgirl?" And she's like, "No." There's some comics that tie into that universe. That's where it's like, I think it's alluded to in the Batwoman movie and like confirmed in an infamous comic that's part of that universe.
Okay.
But it's just like, man, why are you gotta be like this, Bruce Timm? I liked most of this stuff. Why couldn't you just... Batman and Wonder Woman was basically a thing in the Justice League show. Why couldn't you keep to that? That was great.
I ship that.
I do ship that. I still ship that. More than Wonder Woman and Superman. Why would you do that?
Yeah, that one's weird.
The only time I was like okay with it, I think it was the Kingdom Come graphic novel, where it's just like, yeah, they're the 2 Justice League people that are like basically immortal. So like they're still alive like 100 years later or whatever. Like, okay, I could see that. Fine.
It's like we're basically the last 2 people on Earth type of thing.
Well, we're the last 2 like of our generation
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. You know, like I can't relate to the younger people. It's been a long time since I've read Kingdom Come, though. Okay. I technically own it, but I think I lent it to somebody and never got it back. So, or maybe I lost it. Who knows? One of those 2. Anyway, sorry. I was talking about Batman the Animated Series.
No, that's fine.
Do we have anything else we want to say about the Suicide Squad Isekai?
I don't think so.
Again, are we gonna watch the second season that comes out, or do I have to watch that by myself?
I probably will, just because. Okay. But we'll see. Again, I like that they tried it. It just didn't work for me, but
yeah. But hopefully, I think it was fairly popular, so hopefully it leads to more collaborations and
give us a
we'll see what happens.
Give us a romance.
Give it. I want it. Batgirl, high school, crime fighting, juggling boys.
It's like Detective Conan.
well, let's just have Batgirl show up in Detective Conan.
Okay.
We can do that for a movie. Why not?
Sure. We just start like Scooby-Doo.
Have Lupin the Third show up.
Just Scooby-Doo, Detective Conan. Detective Conan meets Kiss.
Detective Conan meets Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Man, I just want to put Detective Conan in
Who owns the rights to Detective Conan?
I think the author of Detective Conan.
Dang.
He's still writing chapters, man.
Give us a call.
I've been reading a lot of Detective Conan. I'm in the hundreds for the chapters there.
Cool. Out of
1,000 something. Over 1,000. But the chapters go quicker than an episode would, because like 3 chapters might make an episode, and like 5 chapters might make a 2-parter sort of thing.
Gotcha.
And there's no filler, so it
True.
skips a lot of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
That's been your Detective Conan update for the episode there.
All right. Do you want? We don't have any dibs counts.
No, I don't. If we did, we forgot them.
Do you want to do main girl?
Best girl is Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the options are Harley Quinn, Enchantress, the Queen, the Princess.
Or Katana.
Katana. But it's not really a katana.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Great. God, I love that reference. I'm not going to explain it. I just love it. Yeah, I mean, it's Harley Quinn. I mean, I like the look of Katana. I think it's a cool character. I am not familiar with Katana whatsoever, except for her appearance in the 2016 Suicide Squad movie. Mm-hmm. Was she in 2021? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so She might have been in. There was like a Suicide Squad Arkham animated movie I saw at some point. She might have been in that.
I don't know. Didn't see it.
Yeah. Who are your favorite? This is yeah. Who are your favorite Suicide Squad members?
I mean, I've only seen the 2 movies.
And this. Yeah, that's
so like
basically.
I like the Suicide Squad, like the James Gunn one. I like that team. I think that's just your go-to.
Polka Dot Man was cool. Did he die in that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that stinks. Mm-hmm. I like King Shark.
King Shark, cool.
I like King Shark. This iteration of him, like the big dumb King Shark that's in the Suicide Squad and that's in this. Okay. But I also like King Shark that's in the Harley Quinn TV show.
That's Ron Funches.
Yeah. Where he's like the opposite. He's a sentimental computer geek. Mm-hmm. And he's voiced by Ron Funches. Is great. I like Peacemaker. I like the Peacemaker show.
Yeah.
I like Idris Elba as Bloodsport better than I like Will Smith as Deadshot. So I just kind of pretend that they're the same character, though, too.
They kind of are.
I like Sean Gunn as Weasel.
Okay, he's not in that movie that much.
No, he's not, but he comes back at the end. He's not dead, like they thought he was. But he's just a weird looking fucker, and I love him. He just looks like Sean Gunn, and I love him.
No, he doesn't.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
What he looks like is Pete Davidson. But he was
in that movie.
But Pete Davidson plays a different character in that movie.
Dual roles for him. Really expanding his acting chops.
Did he voice Weasel?
No.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Sean Gunn did.
Okay. Because I could have sworn that Pete Davidson was Weasel. But I'm like, oh, no, it was Sean Gunn. Pete Davidson was somebody else that I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like some mercenary guy, whatever.
Yeah. I like TDK.
Yeah.
Javelin Man is pretty cool.
I think, was that a man or was that a woman?
It was a dude.
Oh, okay. I thought I was reading on the Wikipedia that it was a woman.
It's Fiona Borg. He's like a German comedian. You might know him if you saw him. I like... Oh, shit, I just had the name. What was it? I like Captain Boomerang in the Suicide movies.
He's barely in the second one.
I know, but I still like him.
I just like Flash villains, though, too. So he's just... Okay, he gets props for being a Flash villain.
But yeah. I don't know. Is there anybody else you want to talk?
No, I think that's about it. Ratcatcher 2 I barely remember from the movie. I know that she's in it, but I barely remember her.
I like her.
Rick Flag is fine.
Mm-hmm. He's bad in the first movie. Like, Suicide Squad, he's not very good.
Okay. I thought he was fine in this, and I thought he was fine in the Suicide Squad.
He is, but I'm just saying.
Did we say it? I mean, I like Harley Quinn, too. Yeah. I like Clayface, but I just like Clayface in general most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's another one that can be kind of different depending on the depiction of him. So, like, in Batman the Animated Series, he is, kind of a sympathetic character. In the DCAU, he's kind of a sympathetic, like, I don't want to be a bad guy sort of thing. In The Batman, which was from, like, 2004, he was, like, a former cop and sort of a sympathetic character. In Harley Quinn, he's why can't I think of I can't think of that actor's name.
Alan Tudyk.
I wanted to say Twig, and I'm like, that's not right.
No.
It's not Twig Dick. It's
Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk. And he's just like an over-the-top actor and less a sympathetic character, but he's pretty funny as a character. And this one, I liked him as like just a cocky asshole.
Yeah, he's like the
cocky dork.
Yeah. But he's also the dork.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a term for that, but I can't think of it. But yeah,
But I thought he was fun in this.
I don't know. That's the thing.
He's less sympathetic in. What was that one that we were watching a couple episodes of?
It's just
Cape Crusader.
Yeah, Batman Cape Crusader.
He's less sympathetic in that from
yeah.
that episode. Mm-hmm. So, like, I think depending on the writer, they do or don't know what to do, and he's not a very consistent character. But I thought he was fine in this. I like him in the Harley Quinn TV show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I already said Peacemaker. So the Peacemaker show was fun. They're gonna make another season of that, right? Or no?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've been working on it.
Okay, might be in development hell for a little bit.
Oh yeah, James Gunn was making Superman, so they got delayed.
Yeah, I liked.
But I think they are making it.
Okay. The John Cena is my second favorite wrestler turned actor.
Your first one, Batista?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just think he's more fun. I think he's a better actor than John Cena.
He's been given more opportunities to be it.
Yeah. Because I think he's also been trying to find those opportunities. Like, there's a reason people are giving him the opportunities, because I think he's seeking them out, and then he's actually being like, oh yeah, this guy can do it. Like if John Cena was seeking it out, they might be like, nah, pass.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, go be in Peacemaker. And John Cena's a pretty good comedic actor there at that point. I don't really like The Rock as an actor.
Nah.
Oh, wait, hold up. I gotta shift everybody a place because Andre the Giant.
Yep. Rowdy Piper?
Rowdy Piper is an interesting choice because, like, he's good in They Live. I think he's good or people like him, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's the only things I know him from, though.
But
that's the only things I know he's in.
I feel like if he's in something else, it's not good.
I have no idea.
I think he's in something else that he's not good in.
I just know he's in They Live, and he's pretty good at it.
Yes. Well, I mean, how long is that fight with Keith David?
Like 20 minutes?
God. That's fun. So, what other... There's the racist Gina Carrero. Is she racist?
She wasn't a wrestler. She was MMA.
Oh, okay.
Mixed martial arts.
Okay. Okay, that's less passionate.
Her main thing was she's transphobic.
That's what it was. Okay.
There's some other ones, but I don't think any of them are that big.
There's the guy who played Sabretooth in the original X-Men movies. Who's that guy?
I have no idea who that was.
Well, he was a wrestler.
Huh.
He was not good.
I don't know who that was. It's like, I know that a lot of wrestlers are in, like, directed red box movies.
Yeah, they're trying to...
I'm just trying to think if there's any wrestlers who, like, got mainstream any. I just can't think of any more.
I mean, yeah, The Rock. We've mentioned The Rock, the big ones. The Rock, John Cena.
Batista.
And then you can kind of put...
You can throw in, like...
Rowdy Piper, and you can put in...
Andre the Giant.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk, yeah, but I don't think
he's ever been in a good movie.
Isn't he Rocky 3?
He was in Rocky 3.
He's playing himself. Yeah, something like that. So he's in a good movie.
He's okay. Yeah, but he's in Rocky. Like, Rocky 3 is fine. I like Rocky 3.
I like Rocky 3.
The only Rocky that you haven't... Well, you've watched up to 4.
Correct.
And you've watched all the Creed movies. But you've not seen Rocky 5, and you've not seen...
Rocky Balboa.
And I don't think I've seen Rocky Balboa.
Well, everybody says 5 is bad, so I'm just not going to watch it.
We're going to watch it one of these days. We'll put it on.
It's fine. I don't need to see it.
Honestly, like, a lot of people really like 4. I think 4 was my brother Nick's favorite growing up.
4 just has a really good fight.
Yeah, 4 is fun, but I wouldn't call it good.
4 is fun. Yeah.
What's the best Creed movie?
Creed 1.
Creed 1 is better than 3? Creed 2 is the worst, though, right?
I like Creed 2.
Okay.
My rankings are almost 1, 2, 3.
I don't remember 2 well enough.
2 is he fights Victor, or Ivan.
Yeah, I know.
Ivan's son.
Yeah.
No, I like that one. Some people don't like that one, but I really liked it.
All right, well, we've talked
3 had some interesting things, but it doesn't quite.
I think we've talked enough about things that aren't Suicide Squad Isekai.
Sorry.
You can follow us on Twitter at anime_territory. Shoot me a tweet. I'll send you a sticker. I'll have to mail it to you, so you will have to be okay with providing me your address. Go ahead and, if you want, find us on any podcast platform and on YouTube as Anime Territory. You are now leaving the Anime Territory.
Goodbye.